All right, everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm going to look at the new update that just came into the car. Here we are sitting here in my 2024 Tesla Model Y, currently in the garage. Um, All-wheel drive, long range Model Y. So just got an update that came in. We're looking here at 2025.8.4, which along with 2025.8. So we were um, on a different version before that, which was the 2025.2.8. So we got the point 0.8 and the 0.8.4 update that just came in on the Tesla. The point 0.4 update, obviously, as you see, talks about minor fixes, contains minor fixes and improvements. But the updates that came in on the point 0.8 update, the 2025.8, you can see here, right, looking at the last 10, 100 or 200 miles of energy usage in the consumption page. As well, first row cabin sensing system has been updated to use cabin radar, which is now in standard in all new 2025 Model Ys. Your Model Y was built pre-equipped with the necessary hardware, allowing Tesla to bring this technology to your vehicle. So using that first row cabin sensing system for cabin radar, your battery's energy estimate now accounts for your vehicle's usage characteristics and will adjust over time based on your history. The total available battery remains unchanged. And then another big one here, you can now run a battery health test to measure your battery's energy retention compared to when it was new. Running this test may recalibrate the energy estimate, which could affect your, oops, and that just went away, so give me a second. We will look back, boop, as we were looking through this, which could affect your display range. So I'll go to control, service, battery health. This update includes other improvements as well. So yeah, if we go into, right, what that's talking about right there, go into service, and then you have battery health, which was the new thing. Your battery's healthy, which is great. I was like, this car's not even a year old yet. And then you can obviously run the test. I'm not going to run that test right now, but it's good to know at least that it's obviously giving us that indicator that the battery is healthy. Your battery's energy retention is within the expected range based on its age and its mileage. Um, right, you can optionally run the test to compare your battery's retention to when it was new. Right, your vehicle must remain connected to an AC charging station for up to 19 hours. So that's basically, it's going to go through the whole, right? I believe it drains down your car. Um, Once the test is complete, the range estimated displayed in your vehicle may recalibrate. And then those tests are valid for up to 6 months, as it says. And then once the results expire, you have the option to run a new test. So, right, but so I'm not going to run this test right now, obviously, but at least what you're getting here out of this is the idea that the battery is healthy. And that it's within the expected range based on the mileage, right? So we're in the green there as well. Um, but so, like I said, um, kind of a new update here. The next part of this video will be me driving with it. So kind of seeing how it handles. The FSD is still the same at this point. So we can go to software. We're still running version 13.2.8 of the full self-driving software as well. So, but like I said, the whole car itself got an update. Um, and with these minor little fixes, just a little bit as well. Again, we can go into the energy section here, and you can go back and look at, like it said, going back to the release notes. Sorry. Ah, your last 10, 100, or 200 miles of energy usage in the consumption page will show up in the clear history. And so you can go into the energy app, into consumption, and so you have a lot more leeway when it comes to what you get out of this consumption area. But that's just a quick little rundown of what the update brought. We'll do a test here in a second of driving it. So we'll go from my house over towards my parents' house as well, through a little bit of the construction area that we typically go through as well, to kind of give you guys the ideas. So that's what the next part of the video will be here in a second. Okay, back for the second part of the video. So we're going to go ahead and take a couple little stops here as we go through on this new update. So we're going to go ahead and get started from our starting position right here. Kind of go around and start heading, and we'll talk about how we're going to do. So we're running this new update, like again said in the first part of the video, 2025.8, with some little minor fixes. So we're going to kind of see how everything handles. FSD is still running the same version, so FSD 13.2.8 as well. So like I said, we'll look here as we're driving through the neighborhood. So 13.2.8, and then version 2025.8.4 now for the car. So we're going to go to one location and then head to a different location just to kind of drive through the neighborhood, just to, from side streets to busy streets, to kind of get an idea of how the car is handling with this new update as well. So we're going to make our way around here, and then we'll be off. But saw an article today about, what was it, I believe like Teslas now have driven like 3.5 billion miles on FSD, and then like 60% of that on full self-driving comes from this past year in 2024. As more Teslas have gotten onto the road, and more Teslas are in the hands of people, and then more than likely with the company offering out free trials of full self-driving as well, to get people to either buy into the idea of autonomous driving in their cars. So, and that's where we've been at. So like I said, this update came in today as sitting around, lounging around for the day. And so I went ahead and installed it to see if there was a new version of full self-driving. Like I said, there is not, and I haven't seen anybody really getting any newer version beyond the 13.2.8 update that the FSD is currently running on right now. So my assumption would probably be at this point that we're getting close to the 13.3 or .4 update for full self-driving, since we're kind of like in a holding pattern. It feels like at this point we've gotten a couple car updates since then as well, but no update to full self-driving at that point. So that's kind of the interesting piece on that end of it. But we're just making our way out of the neighborhood at this point. So we're going to kind of stick around on this road, go towards this first destination, and then I'm going to change it to our final destination, but I'm going to kind of take us a different route a little bit, headed towards my parents' house, my parents' neighborhood. But we're going to kind of go up and around, go towards one of the arenas here in Colorado Springs, and then cut through a different type of construction zone as well, one that I don't think I've taken this through at this point. Just to see kind of how it handles, because we would turn here typically, and then go through that construction zone going this way, but there's a different type of construction zone up here that's probably a little bit more challenging that I want to take the car through, and especially with the new cars update, and then running full self-driving 13.2.8 as well with it. So it's kind of where we're sitting at right now. But we'll make our way here through the neighborhood, see how everything handles on this drive. A lot of times we'll get deer on this road right here as well, so maybe they'll pop out. I had deer pop out on me yesterday when we were driving. Wasn't obviously recording then. And the deer didn't pop out on me. It popped out in the car in front of us, who slowed down for them. And obviously, the Tesla, the car itself, slowed down because the car in front of us slowed down as well. But just giving you the idea. So, little bumpy road on this stretch as well. We'll go kind of up a hill and down one that kind of winds pretty good too. Concerned to a lot of different roads, and the car does a really good job going down that road typically. but we always have an issue up here at this light because it's a double turn lane to go north, but it wasn't probably never intended to do that because this center lane that's coming up here. So you got the two on the left. One, you could technically go straight because that's a lane, but it wants it to be a turn lane. So I usually have to get over, and I usually have to take it over right there because that's a turn lane technically, which you could go straight, but the signs up there on the street light are signifying that these two lanes on our left are actually turn lanes, even though you can go this lane that's next to me that has this motorcycle, and next to me could go straight. So I'm not quite sure. I'm sure if I had probably stayed in that lane, maybe I'll test that out one day. It'll probably let us, the car itself will take us and go straight. But if you look up at the street lights, if you can see that, those are two left turns here on the left side of us. And then so you're technically, in theory, supposed to be in this lane in order to go straight. So just a little odd little piece here. I think I've left feedback one time on that on the, through the voice assistant, but I'm not sure exactly how to leave that feedback because, like I said, in theory, you can be in this lane that's next to me on the left and you could go straight. So just a little confusing. So one disengagement, partly because of that. It's not a safety disengagement. That car was going to go, but they stopped. But that wasn't a safety disengagement. That's just the road doesn't make sense right there type of disengagement. So I don't know if I want to. I don't think I would blame that on FSD at that point, considering. But yeah, we're going to kind of go up this hill, winds a little bit. And then especially as we go down, it's going to wind down into our first destination here. And like I said, then I'll plug in my parents' address. Hopefully they'll take us a different way. But running full self-driving has been great. So I was even telling my wife yesterday, I believe. I was actually driving the car for, I guess, let's say the first time in a while, going through a different neighborhood. Almost missed my turn, and I'm like, oh my god, because I'm not really even paying attention. Because when you're driving with full self-driving, I mean, you're paying attention, but you're not necessarily paying that much attention to what's exactly going on. Oh, and there's emergency lights up here as well. Actually, I think I saw on the news that there was a fire up here. So I'm sure that's what we're about to experience here. I think the field that's up here on the right caught on fire. So see a little, right into that hole, a little bit of a challenge right here as well. But, or that's more so they pulled that guy over and he pulled over right, and oh, yep, here we go. All right, another hole. Oh my goodness, yeah. So we're about to see some stuff. This car, so like I said, this part right here gets a little windy, and it looks like there's a car up here that might have flipped over at that point. So it looks like a tow truck is trying to come in. I might have to disengage right here, but we'll see. But the cop is stopping everybody right now, so this tow truck can back up. So I'm kind of curious. I really want to leave it on, especially see how far this tow truck goes. Yeah, how much he goes onto the road to try to get. So let's see what Tesla does here. I might have to take this car over. Or do we have smart enough software right here to... Did perfect, it looks like. Oh, that's what caused the fire. Actually, it was that car. Crazy. So, cool. So that actually did a really good job right there. So we're going to go ahead, because I'm not going to go straight into the world arena here. So I'm going to go ahead and disengage it, get into the turn lane here. We're going to stop at this light, and I'm going to end the trip and then head towards my parents' house. Okay. So we should be turning left here now. But that was good. That was good to see full self-driving, and the car itself handled that very well. So that's a good little piece of the video right there. Luckily, I came this way. Oh, I'm not even. I was trying to figure out why the car wasn't going. That's what happens when you don't actually engage it. I thought I had engaged FSD there. So make some comments in the comment section about how dumb I am right there. So, all right, but here we go. Now we're going at this point, which is good. Like I said, and we're going to go over, they're building a couple new bridges over here as well. And so we're going to get into that construction area. Like I said, a little bit more dicey than the construction zone that I usually drive through with this and make videos about. So we're going to see how it handles there. We're going through the shopping area around here, retail, restaurants, well, hotel. Sometimes you get a lot of foot traffic over here. People that stay at the DoubleTree up here like to cut across the street, going over towards the Target. There's a couple fast food chains as well. Great bagel shop if you're ever in Colorado Springs. This is over off of like, get off I-25 on Circle and Lake. Believe, what are we on right now? This is like Benitucci or something like that, I believe. But there's a great bagel shop up here called Old World Bagel. Almost very New York style type of bagel shop. Delicious. So if you're ever in town, head over to Old World Bagel. Just a little shout out to them. It's one of my favorite spots. So we're going to give the turn up here onto Lake. I believe this is actually Cheyenne Mountain that we're on. So yeah, Cheyenne Mountain Boulevard. We're going to turn onto Lake Avenue into Circle Drive and go over the new Circle Bridge construction area. This is where people get on to merge onto the interstate as well. Oh, it's going to dink it. The damn route's taking us onto the interstate. I don't want to go onto the interstate. I want to actually go through the construction. So I had, again, not a safety disengagement. That's just because navigation-wise, that's not the route I want to go. So I'm going to get us through this light. Yeah, because that was trying to take us back onto the interstate to go around. But I want to actually cut up this way and then come that way to go. Because there's right in here is where the construction is, where they're building these new bridges. And I want to see how the car handles through that. So I'm going to disengage there. And then re-engage past this light. Should be good. Probably should have planned this trip out a little bit better. There we go. Okay. Now we're good. We'll go through the yellow. I'm surprised it didn't stop there, actually. Get over. Oh. Okay. So yeah, like I said, you got a bridge up here that they're, or this road, this part of the road, they're rebuilding these bridges. So even driving through it just on your own is a little difficult. So let's see how FSD handles that as well. It says new traffic pattern. Don't think this lane ends. It almost looked like there's a lot of cars right here, so the FSD has gotten us over to get around all of these cars that are lined up right here, but I don't think the lane ends up here. I haven't been over here in a while, so I don't know. We are going to find out, though. So like I said, they're tearing down these old bridges and building new ones. I think we're going to be on the newer part of the bridge once they get over, but it's actually an Ionic 5 on our right lane that's trying to come up a little bit. No. There we go. We let him pass, I guess, at this point. And then we're going to get off right here. So actually probably wasn't as bad as I thought in terms of the construction area, because the last time I think I probably came from the south, through the southbound side on the other side, and it got a little weird. But still a little bit of traffic there that it had to navigate to get through. So then we're going to come through this section as well. This is typically a little bit busier. Kind of more, once we turn left up here, a little bit more through some industrial area. We've driven through it before. Coming from a different way, probably from coming from over there at that point. But we got about 8 minutes until we will arrive towards my parents' neighborhood. Got the Maverick gas station up here on the right. We don't have to use gas anymore, huh? No, sure don't. Talking to my son in the back seat. I haven't touched a gas pump since May. So what that means is I haven't filled up my wife's car at least. But typically, if we're together, we don't drive in her car. We drive in this. So that's the kicker. Because why pay for gas when we don't have to? I'll just charge this at home in the garage. Makes life a little bit easier. Just wait for this light up ahead to make this turn. Like I said, again, we're running this newer version, 2025.8.4, still running FSD 13.2.8. So, but so far, beyond like I said, no safety disengagement so far. The 2 disengagements I've done on my own. One was not even a navigation issue; it's more of a road issue. And then the other one was that way I didn't drive into that first destination that I plugged in. That way I could go left. Obviously, didn't engage full self-driving until I realized, I'm like, why is the car not going? Huh. You actually have to make the click at that point. So, car's running real smooth. This new update's running real smooth as well, which is good. So, we'll drop down here. A lot of stuff in the road. Gee, there was a piece of wood back there. This area of town that's not necessarily the best, but this is the side of town in Colorado Springs that I grew up in. So it's kind of home to a degree. From where we live now to where I work, to used to work over here as well at a different school. But my parents still live in the same house that I grew up in, so we come this way. City's trying to revitalize this area, get a lot of homeless people that live up in this area behind this King Supers, and then Panhandle up here as well. But it's a Colorado Springs issue, not necessarily this side of town issue. So hopefully the city leaders will clean it up. And we're stopping here for the light, which is good. But we are getting to a point here with full self-driving where it's extremely comfortable to drive it in with it anymore. Like I said, safety-wise, it's been a while since I've disengaged the software for any type of safety reasons. Getting more handling with the car. It's getting a lot more trustworthy, obviously, and it can see better than I can see at this point, it feels like. Which is good. So, and hopefully hearing me a lot more clearly. I'm using a new microphone. You can see right here attached to my seatbelt. Trying to make this a little bit better for the viewers of the channel. So hopefully, trying to drown out that background noise more so of the car, and just focusing on what I am saying, I suppose, if you really care what I'm saying. Here we go, green light. We're headed up. So, but we're getting close to the end here. So, see how the rest of this drive here for about another, I would say another mile, and then I'll stop once we get into the neighborhood as well. So, but like I said, good little drive. So nothing too bad. Like I said, the car around where that cop was with the car that was flipped over that caused the grass fire. It looked like did a great job there and disengaged there once at all. Understood the traffic, understood to go around the cop and the tow truck, which is a very big piece of what this video is probably going to be about, I think, as well. But this new software update, don't see any big issues with it. Like I said at the beginning of this, we went over what was updated because there were a few things in the release notes there, battery health stuff, energy consumption, right? Right, here's our current energy consumption as we're kind of approaching the end here. One of the new updates is that you can go back, obviously now, to about 200 miles back in order to see, and so you can see the average and what's been consumed in the last 200 miles for the car. So 50, 100, 150, and then 200. So coming up at red stop down to red. Cars on our left are turning, and the car is going, and we have a green light anyway. But hey, thanks for coming along for the ride. Like I said, we're going to end right here. We'll get them up to the stop sign and then conclude the video. So that's the new update. Like I said, 2025 point, I got to remember this now, 0.8.4, still running FSD 13.2.8. But give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.